Welcome back everyone to Monday's Bitcoin update video, where we take a look here at the Bitcoin price chart and have a look at how things have played out since Friday's recap video. We'll jump into what we're seeing here on the Bitcoin price chart, how things are likely to play out from this moment here, and what to expect in the coming days and weeks on the Bitcoin price chart and how things are likely to play out in the cryptocurrency market. We'll take a look at some external factors like how traders right now are feeling in the current market environment and how it's affecting their psychology. And then at the end, we'll tie all this together to see how far along we are in this correction, how much longer there is to go, and why we are so bullish on the market at this point in the cycle. So let's jump into today's video and have a look at what we're seeing here on the charts. So to recap from Friday's video, we do believe we are in this phase right here where we have seen the initial sell-off here in the C wave. And now we are expecting price to bounce up into a resistance region and reject again before then going into an extended period of consolidation, but hopefully seeing this low get met like it did on the right side here, and that we believe that we're roughly in a moment like this right now. And as you can see on the left here in today's example, price is performing quite similar. We still are waiting for that push before we can see some kind of rejection and eventually sweep the lows of this A leg, similar to the way price reacted on the right side here back from this time last year. So our outlook for the week is the same as what we were expecting on Friday. We were expecting that double bounce. Eventually price would shoot up a little higher, and then we should see this low on the A leg get swept right here. And then eventually we can see how price is going to react from this point if we do see that plunge down to our support zone down here at 98,000, which again is this region above the consolidation zone and below the first point of resistance before that uptrend. Same way we have on the right side here, we have the top of the consolidation zone and then the bottom of that first point of consolidation once price had broken out from this range here. And that right now we are just looking for this moment to come in here where we can eventually either see price bounce or we can see our lows found. However, since price has been following this fractal here so accurately, I'm likely to expect things will keep continuing the same way they have been, and that we most likely will see this A leg get swept. So I'm still expecting that we will continue to follow this fractal and that we won't just plunge down to this zone, and it's likely we will see a bounce at some point here before eventually coming in for that C leg and giving us our lows here, which again should be at around that $98,000 region. So outlook for the week, we should see price come and sweep the low of this A leg before then eventually reversing, shooting straight back to the upside, and then giving us that kaplunk and hopefully setting the low for this corrective move. And the reason we think price is going to continue to follow this is because we are in a smaller corrective move, and that we still believe that this entire price action that we're having up here is just a smaller version of the entire bull and bear market in the way things played out. And that right now we are just in this zone here, which if we actually have a look back, took over 230 days to play out last time. And right now, so far what we've done has only taken a total of about 20 days. So we are moving much faster, and that is to be expected, as I do believe we are still performing just a miniaturized version of this entire cycle, and that the next move from this is up. However, right now we are roughly still in these zones here where we're still expecting price to come down for that final plunge, hopefully this week or the next, and give us the low in this corrective phase. And another telltale sign of this is public sentiment. As we can see here, we have experienced traders who supposedly are the #1 traders on Bitcoin.com, whatever that means. And you can see that just 17 hours ago, their psychology is being completely messed with, and that they're getting sucked into the news events and what's happening around the world, and that's making them quite bearish on the market, and they are getting impatient. And this is exactly what you want to see in price action like we are having right now. When price is just washing machining around like this is exactly what it does to people's sentiment. This is exactly how it makes them feel, and that eventually when we do see a C leg come down here and price sweep to these lows, even though we'll still be just shy of $100,000 US per Bitcoin, public sentiment will be absolutely ruined. And it will cause a lot of people to give up on their positions, sell their bags, and stop paying as much attention to crypto as they are right now. And then only just a week ago when Bitcoin was at the top of this B leg, everyone was taking $100 million long positions and expecting breakouts and massively bullish on this market. And in just the space of 6 or 7 days, when price is only down about 4%, it's completely shaken the retail investor and most traders in this market, giving me further confirmation that when price does reach these levels, like we have been talking about for the last month now, that it will shake out most people and lead us to exactly what you want to see before a moment where things can get exciting, which is when most people get bored of this market and most people actually get shaken out of their positions. And what's most funny about all of this and the way price is playing out is that It was only this time last year when we did see these corrective structures and things play out exactly like they are now, except things are playing out 10 times as fast as they did only 1 year ago. Yet somehow most people can't see the fact that we're in a move like this and that we are correcting at an all-time high after already piercing through the previous set all-time high back in January. Similar to the same way we did the same thing back when we pierced through the all-time high in 2024 that we had set back in 2021. And now we are forming the same corrective structures, yet the same emotional and mental impact is happening on market participants, even experienced traders. And to think all this is happening when Bitcoin is only down 5% from its all-time high is exactly what you want to see in a moment like this. And it shows you exactly how this washing machine style price action shakes most people out of this market, lets big money accumulate enough crypto so that they can eventually send things back to the upside, start pumping the newsreel with positive crypto things, start telling you that everyone's buying and that you need to buy now, when they've spent the last entire consolidation period shaking most people out of their positions and accumulating all that crypto. So all in all, pretty happy on the state of the market, happy things are performing the way that we've been talking about over the last month, and now it's just a matter of waiting for the bottom of that sea leg to come in before we can start to position ourselves long and take advantage of some positive price action when hopefully most traders get shaken out of this market and we continue to see sentiment like this. So until then, guys, just staying positive, realizing that we most likely are just in a moment like this and that there is still a little bit to go. However, we are closer to finding our bottom than we were last week, and that eventually when all of this wraps up and it all ends and we do find these lows down in here, that the next move is for price to shoot to the upside. And until that moment happens, just staying patient, sitting on our hands, not getting shaken out by this market, and most importantly, not walking away and paying less attention to crypto when it is the most advantageous time to buy, which is the zone that we should be entering into soon. So less about price action today and more about just market psychology and how what we see play out right now is exactly what we want to see, and that a lot of people are really getting shaken out when Bitcoin only really is just down a couple percent from its all-time high, and that this is exactly what to expect. And anyone going through this right now, paying attention to the channel and hopefully seeing what's going on, you should feel lucky that we're only doing a shortened correction of this, because last year a lot of traders didn't know what was happening and sat through over 230 days of just sideways consolidation. And when you come to understand crypto, what you'll see is that most of the time the market does just move sideways. The bear markets move sideways for years and the corrections move sideways for hundreds of days. However, those moments when you do see price shoot up only happen over a course of 2 or 3 weeks. And if you're not here during the boring and paying attention to when the lows get set, you'll always miss out on the time when price shoots up, and it happens so quick and so fast that by the time people make the conscious decision to buy, we're either in a selling off phase or in another consolidation phase. So I hope everyone out there is well, not getting too caught up in the news events and what's happening around the world right now. I don't think we're going to go into World War III. However, I do think if price does get to 98,000, it should take a pretty sizable news event to get price down there and spook out a lot of retail investors. And just having a look at the way that the newsreel has been playing out over the last week or so with things happening in the Middle East, I think there could be a pretty solid news event that does spook out a lot of retail, and in that moment is what hopefully should give us our low down here at about 98,000 and complete this ABC correction. But until then, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll be back tomorrow for the XRP video update where we have a look at the XRP price chart. And interestingly enough, start to see that XRP price is actually holding up quite well in this moment and performing quite well in accordance to Bitcoin, which hopefully should wrap up this XRP market cap dominance fractal that we have and give us those lows we're looking for on the XRP price chart without sending price too crazy low when we see a spill on Bitcoin. But we'll jump into all of this tomorrow when we go over the XRP price chart. Until then, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the XRP video.